Meet Kevin Harrington. With over 500 products launched and generating $5 billion in product sales in over 100 countries, Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, as seen on TV pioneer, and original shark on the Emmy Award-winning TV show Shark Tank.
Hi, I'm Kevin Harrington. I'm an original shark from ABC's Shark Tank. I'm also a pioneer of the infomercial industry. Today, I've got an exciting guest, Scott Pryor, and Scott is a partner at Pryor Law, a boutique firm that handles some of the largest personal injury cases in the country. And Scott also owns Pryor Entertainment, a TV and film production company. Both are based in Atlanta, Georgia. And Scott, I just want to welcome you, an amazing background. But let's start. I want to focus on your legal background. Tell me how you got started and how'd you get to this point right now?
Sure. Thank you, Kevin. Thanks for having me. Great to see you. So basically, when I was growing up, I always stood up against bullies. I hated watching people get bullied. It infuriated me. My parents actually also got bullied in a business situation. And I was a young man. So I ended up joining the Marine Corps when I was 17 and, loved that. And then I transitioned into law. And so what I do now, I basically fight bullies for my clients. And so that's how I got started.
That's great. There's plenty of bullies out there, right? Yeah. You now have all kinds of different cases that you're involved with. And I know we've talked about personal injury, but what is in broad spectrum, what kind of cases do you handle?
Basically, we handle catastrophic injury cases. So people who've been injured very, very badly. Also, we handle wrongful death cases. So if somebody has been killed, we represent the family, the victims against the negligent party, and we go nationwide. We don't work just in Georgia. We actually do this all over the country. So if somebody's seriously injured or there's a death case, we go all over the country. And we've got cases literally in multiple states. So that's what we do.
Fantastic. That's great. I like that. You can get outside the Atlanta area where you're based, which is great. And on that note, though, you have been ranked as one of the top 1% of legal firms in the whole country. So you obviously have had some great success. And tell me, how did you earn that, though? That's pretty impressive.
Sure. So we do, we take on the biggest cases out there, and you have to get great results. We've set records in multiple states on what we've been able to accomplish for our clients. And so we won the Litigator Awards several years, and Litigator Awards is simply, it's a panel of attorneys and judges, and they actually look at your results and they compare them to other attorneys and other firms across the country. So it's an award based on, people in the industry, comparing that to other people in the industry and how you rank, and basically, the proof's in the pudding. How well did you do? And so we rank in the top 1%.
That's great. Well, so there is, there's competition. There's obviously other firms that do what you do. And one thing that I would say, what sets you apart from them? And I've just heard one example, you're in the top 1%. So that's powerful. But let me ask it this way. I know that most firms, they're trying to win as much money as they can for their clients, correct?
Sure.
That's the goal. But what sets you apart from the other folks that are in the business?
Sure. So certainly my background being in the Marine Corps and having that fight, and the Marines are tough, and we love challenge. We absolutely, the firm loves challenge. That's how I lead it. We operate as a military unit, and so fighting is in my blood, and I personally test my staff. And so I want the attorneys who are working for me to be fighters, and I specifically seek that out. But at the same time, we want to provide a wow experience for our clients. We're client centered, we're client focused. So we want our clients to feel cared for, right? We don't want to just be these hammers in the courtroom. We want to care for the client, because the client's dealing with so many things. They're dealing with emotional needs. They're dealing with anxiety. They're dealing with depression. They're dealing with medical issues.
Oh yeah.
All sorts of financial issues. And sometimes this is the hardest thing in the world. So we want to provide that client with a wow experience. We care. We personality test. If you're going to be handling the clients and talking to clients, then we look for that specifically in people's personality. They have to care. Right. And most of our clients, when you interview them, they'll say, wow, I really felt cared for. I felt like, I was part of the family. And we say at Scott Pryor Law, we say our clients are our family and we fight for our family. So also what separates us is the creativity. I am a very creative person. Yeah. And so, strategic for the Marines, but also creativity. So sometimes we'll put together a day in the life of video. We'll having a film background absolutely helps. So I'll say, why does the jury care? And that's important. The jury will tell you very quickly whether they care or not based on the award that they give. So you have to tell a creative, compelling story. And so when I'm listening and interviewing my clients prior to trial and prepping the witnesses and drawing the strategy, I always look through the lens of, I'm telling a powerful story that needs to move this jury, and why would they care? And then just the creative in me kind of pulls out those different elements from each of the witnesses and our clients, so we can tell a compelling story. And I think that's what definitely differentiates us from a lot of firms.
You've got a production background. Do you use video in the courthouse? So that's a very powerful performance, because let me say, for those that don't even realize that, you've talked about a wow factor here, which means, like there are some people that come in that are injured, they've been shut down, they already got turned down maybe by an insurance company. You come in and with the expertise you have, the video production, that's amazing. I mean, video production for us, we've done this for years and years and years. And this also gives you the ability, I call it a magical transformation, right? And maybe just in terms of our talk here today, could you give me an example of one or two, just folks that you've helped from a really dire situation to transforming into something very powerful and successful?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we had several cases in the use of video. We had several cases where liability wasn't exactly clear, which those are really tough. We had a young Hispanic gentleman got hit by a semi truck and killed, but it was the way it was hit. They could hit him for comparative negligence, which is really tough on a case. So we put together a video of his family talking about how much they missed him, and just a very strong, powerful video. But through that video, you would think that the parents are the most, I don't want to say the stars, that's not a good way to put it, but the most impactful. But he actually had a little brother who had, shaggy hair and kind of crooked teeth and these big glasses on his face. And we interviewed the little brother, and boy, he talked about how his older brother would take care of him and take him to Waffle House, and he would coach him in soccer. And it was so powerful and so moving that, we just went with that. And we do this day in and day out. So you get used to these sorts of stories, but it was a thing that really plugged at my heartstrings the most. And so we actually went to mediation. The insurance company the trucking company was not taking us seriously. The mediator is like, obviously you've never worked against Scott Pryor Law before. They're about ready to kick you in the teeth when they go in the courtroom. And we played that video at the end. And so the adjuster was like, let me go get my laptop. And all of a sudden they're calling the top heads of the company saying, we got a real problem here. Whereas before they weren't taking it seriously. So that's just one example of the use of video. But other examples of cases that we do, like big cases, we set a record in South Carolina for a truck that killed a mom and daughter, and the poor daughter was saying, "Mommy, wake up," and the mom just died in front of her. So we set a big record on that. Wow. There recently here in Atlanta, a year ago, there was a van rollover and 7 people burned alive. So my adopted niece was one of those people, and so we represent 3 people in that case. So that's a big case that's been all over the news.
Wow. You guys have really been involved with some major big profile cases, magical transformations, and I'm really loving this unique positioning that the Pryor Law Group has, because I know how compelling and emotional video can be. This is what I've been doing for 40 years in my world of building products and sales. And so this entertainment background that you have, I know you produced and acted in some movies and some shows yourself. So this is a very powerful distinction for you over many of the others. And I just want to ask, how did you get into the entertainment business? That's pretty cool.
Sure. Thank you. So it dates back to high school. Basically, I had a teacher who would have us do skits as part of the class, and we just loved it when we do these crazy skits and stories. And so that transitioned into more acting and undergraduate, but I always had this pull for story, which is, what we do in the courtroom. But then we decided to start making feature films. We've made 3. They've all won awards. We recently, on our last film, it's called Tulsa. It went viral, but it's been on, Fox Nation and a bunch of other, distribution outlets, and actually set a theatrical record as well. And recently won Best Picture in a big award show, Best Picture, Best Comedy, and then I won actually silver for Best Male Lead. But anyhow, but all the films have won awards, and we literally get messages from all over the country, all over the world about how our stories and our films have impacted people's lives. As a matter of fact, our very first little film we've shot for $100,000 in the last year, we received 2 phone calls that it's called The List, that people were suicidal and they were contemplating suicide, and they watched the film and it inspired them to call the suicide hotline. So, we want to touch people's lives with our films, and obviously with the law practice as well. But having that film background, it dovetails very nicely within the law practice.
Super fantastic. Well, that's so cool, Scott. I just want to say thanks for being here today and having our conversation. And you are a dynamic and unbelievably powerful, impressive background. And thank you for sharing some of the stories today. And I know that there's folks watching right now. They may know someone that was in an accident. They may have been in an accident. What should they do? Right? Well, they have to think, well, I'll be honest. After learning about yourself, Scott, Pryor Law, if I got into an accident, I'd want you to handle my case also. So
thank you, Kevin.
I just want to say that because I love the background you have, the entertainment background, the video background, magical, transformative clients that you've got. And so I'm going to say to the folks out there that if they would like to reach you, whether you've been hurt in an accident, whether you've got a problem that you don't know where to turn, contact one of the nation's leading personal injury firms, and that's Pryor Law. Just visit the website right now at the bottom of the screen, and that is Scott Pryor, and that's Pryor law.com. Also, you can call the number 404-474-7122. Someone will take you through the whole process. You'll be glad you did. Scott, thank you for being with us today, buddy. 2 thumbs up for you.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay. And for those that are listening, thanks for everybody being here for today's special program. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.